southernmost tip of Hawaii, southernmost tip of the Hawaiian Islands. And this is the southernmost road of all of the U.S. So this is the road, it's not paved.
No, we're in a subdivision. It's been one of the last to get very much developed. That's why the roads were so bumpy and whatnot. And we kind of like it that way. There's a building I call the Face Hut for obvious reasons. I can't resist that kind of stuff.
So many huts.
Yeah, they're mostly small shelters here. They're guest shelters and whatnot. Look at this one. That's, believe it or not, there's a building under there.
No.
Yeah.
This is completely buried. There's something here?
Yeah, trying to blend with nature. That does a pretty good job. These living roofs, you know, I wanted everything like that because it makes everything invisible, you know, and blend with nature. This is one of the structures. It's all, you know, recycled stuff that I picked up. You know, I don't have hardly any money in any of this.
How much did you spend on this?
Between 500 and 1,000 in this building.
This is nice. This is almost part greenhouse.
Yeah, I kind of wanted more light in here and stuff, so that helped a little bit.
So this is your main house.
I call it the Knick-Knack Museum.
This is a beautiful bedroom. It's so peaceful.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I mean, it's nice that you have this whole piece of glass here because you're just, I mean, your views are...
Yeah, I can actually see the ocean.
And there's a fruit tree right out your window.
Yeah, that's just an orange tree. Actually, I didn't even plan this to be my bedroom. It's very crude. Mm-hmm. Very crude. A lot of my carpentry is pretty primitive, and you know, it's not finished.
But that's okay.
But it works.
It's almost like we did his cabin, Nico, in Wisconsin.
You mean Aldo Leopold?
Aldo Leopold, yeah.
Aldo Leopold.
Feels like his cabin.
He's one of my heroes.
Is this very sort of traditional, more like where you're from, Wisconsin, right? This style?
Yeah, I suppose there's a bit of that influence, and yeah, I mix it all together. I have to be careful, you know, because I can get stuck here. So it's got that option. And then this goes like that, and like that. And, you know, I can even do something like that. So, yeah, it was kind of fun trying. I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy.
It's good.
Yeah. Ergonomics, right?
Yeah, I don't think some, you know, things are designed carefully enough, so I add my 2 cents worth. And here's the funny thing, this wrench here, it's an odd wrench. Wow. It just happened to fit here, and I have to tighten this every now and then.
How did you learn to build?
Partly by my father. He was a backyard type carpenter. I learned how to use a hammer at least, and then just kept going. I'm actually in a book for a log cabin I built in Wisconsin.
Why did you come to Hawaii?
I guess it was partly because of this book called Survival into the 21st Century. You know, I was thinking like, well, I could stay in Wisconsin and, you know, what am I going to do in the winter, right? You know, so he had all these idyllic pictures of him opening coconuts. And I thought, okay, I got to check Hawaii out, right?
Look at all the fruit, and this grows on your land.
Right.
Papaya and avocado and citrus. Apples? You have your own apples?
Those are called white sapote.
And then you have pumpkins.
I don't have a refrigerator yet.
No refrigerator. But you don't need one.
In a way, no. I figured out how to not have to use one by just moving to the tropics and, you know, having a lot of variety all the time. And if you keep it well aerated.
Are these functional?
I think I had some dates hanging here.
Oh, it was a drying rack.
To ripen. This was my early Stoller system. This one I actually started with maybe one panel I got somewhere at a garage sale or something. And then somebody's leaving the island, they give me one. And so it's just kind of piecing together stuff.
Do you have a job?
I mean, if you had a job, do you have a salary?
I have this one rental space that
But you don't have a car.
I don't have a car, I don't have a phone.
So what are your expenses?
Mainly taxes and water bill and a little bit of food, you know, that I can't grow.
But no gas, no propane, no...
I do contribute for carpooling and stuff when, like, my neighbor takes me to the farmer's market or something, I chip in for gas. There's probably 30 or 50 different kinds of fruit on the land here.
What kind of tree are you under?
That's called a longan tree. It's like lychee, if you're familiar with that.
Oh, so there's fruit.
Yeah. There's a date tree. And these are all mango flowers. Looks like a lot of mangoes here.
Oh, wow.
It looks like maybe this year is a big time. And then I've been collecting stuff for years. All that wood there is from a sawmill where it was all scraps. The owner of the sawmill let me pick through all the scrap and gave it to me for free. I just kept going there every Saturday for years. Here's another one of the guest shelters that I built a while back, the quonset hut. I got lucky and I had a friend who worked for a spirulina place. So this material on the roof of this building is pond liner material. I got it all for free because they were tearing it out to put in a new building.
This is bamboo on the sides here?
It's a mixture of bamboo and irrigation pipe and rebar.
So you have the kitchen out front.
Yeah.
It almost feels like an old Pioneer wagon.
Yeah, it's similar. A lot of people have stayed in this shelter.
You do always like quonset huts? What made you think of?
I had a pickup truck when I left Wisconsin, and I made a quonset hut on it because it was less expensive. And I lived in that for quite a while. Traveled all the way around the U.S. before I came to Hawaii. This is my shop area. Here, you'll hear it go on.
Okay. What is that?
That's called an inverter.
So it's for your solar?
Yeah.
And you don't need much power. You don't normally use it?
I use it mainly for my computer and charging a few cordless electric tools. That was a big breakthrough. Like, I did almost all my logging in my early days with one of these. Then the cordless stuff came along and made it easier. But I still like to do it because it's so quiet, and I got really good at it. I had a nickname, Bowsaw Bill, when I lived in Wisconsin, because I was the only one of the loggers that used one. All the others had these noisy chainsaws. I did all the building by hand here. This one I have been building for years. I'm still not done with it.
Do you consider this almost like a stone yurt?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that. Because it's 2 stories, it's unusual. You don't see too many 2-story yurts with living roofs. We can actually go up there. It's a second story.
Okay, let's go in there. This stonework is amazing. Is it dry stone? You're not putting any cement or anything in there?
The only thing that's cement is, you know, the archway here.
That's it.
Just to make it more stable, right, in case of earthquakes and stuff like that.
And how do you get it so it doesn't fall?
Practice.
So are you putting bigger pieces on the bottom?
Sometimes you need a what I call a locking piece. It's one that's longer or flatter, and it just kind of goes further in.
Okay.
And then the smaller one's on top, and then another locking one, and yeah, and to make the arch, all you need is a telephone cable spool, you know, recycled, and then build over it, right? So that was kind of interesting. And this is more of the pond liner.
Oh, you see it underneath here.
Yeah. I don't have much money in anything. If it costs too much, I walk away.
What do you think you paid for the materials for this house?
About $500 maybe. And it's mostly the concrete foundation because I needed a solid foundation for it. I designed it a little awkwardly because I didn't want anyone to fall on this concrete. So anyway, you got to do a little yoga to get it. It's not a major issue. Most people can. Just got it. Here is where you got to kind of bend a little bit. And see what I mean? But there's railings and stuff, so I feel like it's pretty safe. It's just awkward.
Exactly. Oh, wow. Oh, this is a dome up we were seeing up. So you wanted the space to come up just to...
I don't know. I was actually planning 3 stories. I don't know. I don't know when to stop. But then I started getting older and that told me it's time to slow down.
So what did you use on the walls here?
This is more of the pond liner.
And then the bamboo, is that bamboo?
That's bamboo, yeah. It's growing right outside the building here.
Is it really? So you just pulled from your land?
Yeah.
So it's like affordable.
Like I said, I have very little money. I have a resistance to money.
Yeah.
I do have, I think that land is our main alternative to money. All right, back to earth.
Back to earth.
Yeah. I love blue glass bottles. I've been collecting them for years.
Huh.
It's like something, especially when the sun, like that one over there right now, look at how incredible it looks.
This glass here, look at the light.
I kind of invented that stained glass on clear glass. I found this stuff called Mortite caulking cord, and you can get a long piece of it and then put a piece of colored glass, put the Mortite around and push against both, and it stays there. So you can have clear glass and stained glass both. I thought that was a neat option because I like looking out, but I also like to see the color at the same time.
How long did it take you to build these structures? Because those walls are thick.
Not only that, but I had pig problems to try to grow food here. So what I did is I spent years building rock walls all the way around the property like this.
So much wall you created.
Yeah, I had to do this to keep the pigs out. It was like a major holiday when it got done.
And you have a lot of food growing.
Yeah. This is a greens garden.
What do you have growing here?
This is lettuce.
Okay.
This is called katuk. I think it's an Asian herb that I liked it more than a lot of greens. Some greens don't really turn me on too much. That one I like the flavor of. I think that is kale. There's lettuce. This edible hibiscus.
Oh. You have peppers?
Peppers, yeah, those are like hot peppers.
Peppers. All kinds of salads, right?
Yeah,
Lettuces and...
this is purslane. It's like one of those things where can I be 1% eating more healthy foods every year?
Looks really healthy. I mean, you have, basil?
Yeah.
All kinds of colors, lettuces, I don't even know. But this looks like plenty.
Yeah, for me it's, I come out here every evening and make a smoothie out of the greens, and then I add it to a pumpkin stew-like thing. Another application of pond liner, to hold the soil and this is a shelter that I built a few years ago. I call it the retirement home. It's more of the pond liner and the living roof. And this is a camper that was on a truck that I used to have. I thought I recycled that and made it into a little bedroom. This part in here is from a truck that I had as a camper because the truck died. So I thought, well, I could make a bedroom out of it or whatever.
I love very much your window in the back.
I have a lot of windows like that. I can't resist it because I got some free stained glass. It's so easy to do that, like regular stained glass is a little more meticulous, with soldering, and then you have to have a frame to hold it all together. This was just like, boom. It was just kind of a playful, easy thing.
This is a microwave plate.
Yeah, see this whole,
Changed it completely.
the whole place is like that. It's just a bunch of trash art.
So you put sinks in everything. So everything's a home, a shelter.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a bunch of small shelters for guests, where we could do this intentional community.
So you have green roofs everywhere.
Yeah, I'd say over half of the roofs are green roofs.
Is it easy to grow here?
Here's what I do. I get the pond liner up, and like something like this, sometimes it'll start hanging down too low and blocking the light.
Okay.
So I just cut it off and throw it up on the roof. It's that simple. And it's succulents mostly. But I sometimes have to put some compost under it, to hold the roots until it gets established.
Okay.
But if it's a succulent, it doesn't even need that, if it's done right.
Because it's alive.
Yeah.
It is alive.
Yeah. For some reason, for survival, we decided that dominating nature was the way. And the thing is, I think we are nature, actually. We're just a part of it.
Behind you, you have a garden?
That used to be my music room. There's a room under it. I haven't opened that door for quite a while. I don't know what my... But yeah, I was worried about hurricanes, so this is kind of like a hurricane shelter. But I had a,
It goes down underground.
yeah, I had a music room down there for a while, and this friend of mine and I used to do some really far out music under there. I'll check it out and see if it's worth. It does bring back fond memories of playing music with my friend here.
And you just dug it out?
It was kind of a depression, and I added to it.
This was, you put rocks into the wall.
All the rock was sort of close to here, and then I just rearranged it. It took, you know, I've been doing this for 40 years, and at one time I was pretty much more ambitious, and I was moving a lot of rocks. They're just rocks that are, you know, different shapes. There's actually another little, I thought I had a little room in there for storing stuff.
There is something back here. There's some tools back here.
Oops.
I like your shower.
It's all solar.
Yeah.
And then there's a tank inside that box. And so it's higher up. So the hot water goes up and then cool water comes down, and it just keeps going in a circle.
You use gravity for the pressure?
Yeah, this has to be up pretty high to get it to all work. It was a pickup truck that when I got it, I just towed it here. It's never been driven by me. I just built this on it and as another option to use for living. I can open the door. It's a little messy, maybe.
Let's see.
It's a little hard to see, but that's where I've been living and sleeping and eating. So I got fixed in there and habitualized, and everything was, you know, at arm's reach.
Yeah. Oh, there's even a sink.
Yeah, I haven't used it for a while, so it's a little messy, but that's kind of me. I haven't used me for a while, and I'm a little messy.
So you see there's an axle, and it was a truck.
Yeah. There is still a truck there. I just never had it up and running.
Up and running. Someone gave it to you, or?
Somebody gave it to me and said, you know, I'm going to haul it to the dump, so.
And you hooked up the water? Oh, yeah, I see. Everything's just hooked up by hose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I share water with about 5 neighbors.
Okay.
So this is the kitchen and where my computer is.
That's your home?
Yeah, right.
Why build this with this corrugated metal?
I had initially put the asphalt roofing, are you familiar?
Yeah.
And that stuff, something about the acid air in Hawaii, it doesn't last as long. So I had to replace it with this a few years ago. This is a sweat lodge.
And you have a bit of a green roof on it too.
Yeah. I traded a friend a dome tent I had for this.
It's almost geodesic, right?
Yeah, it's a geodesic dome.
It is a geodesic
Bucky
dome.
Fuller promoted that a lot.
Were you inspired by Bucky Fuller?
Yeah, he was one of the major building players back in the old days. Yeah, and believe it or not, this is a pond.
Oh, really?
I had it mainly as like a backup in case the county water, you know, we could filter this and drink it if need be. If you get thirsty, I got some coconuts I could share.
Fun!
Oh, that's another thing I didn't show you is my 3-wheeled trike. It's electric assist. They're getting more and more popular now.
Yeah.
When I got one, it was kind of a new, but now I see them a lot.
So this way you could get to the store on your own without a car?
And I made these packs.
So you didn't need a car. You could just take this to the store.
Yeah.
So you really haven't needed a car. You don't need a phone. You don't need a car. This works.
Yeah. Okay, we were on the way to Coconutville.
Here you've set up the coconut stand where the coconuts fall.
These ones here I got from that tree over there.
But I mean,
But you know, I have to somewhat risk my life to get them.
why?
Because look how high up they are, right? You know, in the earlier days, I could just come here and like unscrew them like a light bulb, right?
Yeah.
But see how high those are? At some point, I found this aluminum extension pole.
Yeah.
I fixed a hook on it so that I can hook onto the coconut and pull on it. But then it can kind of fall on my head and I have to be careful. And then I have to climb the tree and get at a fairly risky height in the tree with this pole, you know, doing this and trying to stabilize but I did. I got a few coconuts this morning.
You got these?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So these are valuable coconuts.
But it's kind of worth it for me in a way because I know the source and they're organic and
Just take a sip right out. Oh, it looks
Yeah.
great. Oh, that's good.
yeah.
So you stop by here every morning, you say?
Yeah, this is my morning spot. Usually I come and drink one in the morning early. But you can make a spoon if you don't have one with you.
I can't imagine you did much of this in Wisconsin.
That's a good one. Yeah, I learned this from other people. So yeah, it just kind of,
So you just made a spoon.
yeah, nature provides, as they say.
That's certainly true for you. I mean, you're getting a lot of food here.
Yeah, so it took a few years to get to this point, but and I came to the island in '82, so I kind of set the stage in motion, and I give thanks, you know.
This is a special breakfast.
Hanging out at the bar.